Welcome to my channel. I'm Daphne, your flat earth nurse, and this is
Hey Daphne, I just wanted to say something.
Today we're going to be talking about
What
all
makes you
things
think
regarding
AIDS or any other type of disease is like a plague? That is a huge question.
To live with the plague.
And I'm sorry that I had to stop that, guys. I'm watching this video as I'm recording this because I'm gonna be doing clear, concise response. I'm going to be bringing along facts, and I'm also going to be posting the links that I find the information from, so you guys have the information that I'm sharing with you guys. So one thing that I know, AIDS is definitely a thing. HIV, it's similar. They're not necessarily the same things, but they're immune diseases. They attack your autoimmune system, the thing that helps you fight off diseases such as the swine flu or any other type of disease. That was the first one that came to mind. But so if you know that fights the disease, sometimes we need help, and that comes from vaccinations, which are, I'm not going to go into this a complete and total different tangent, but we know vaccines help the immune system ward off these diseases. And why do we have warnings? So we can we can take care of ourselves so we don't contract these diseases. Okay, so this person claims she's a flat earth nurse and saying how AIDS and everything is bullshit. I know there was someone recently in my town that I went to school with. Turns out they have HIV. I'm not going to give out the name because I don't want people trying to dox them, because out of respect for that person. So you can understand my position. I know someone who has HIV, and my brother's fiance is a nurse. I'm not going to give out names because I don't want people flooding her work and stuff, trying to get her to be like, oh, so she's an ER nurse, so she's seen some crazy shit. I don't know what type of nurse that this Daphne is, but I just want to make a quick statement.
To bring you this information,
she doesn't really have information.
I have put my nursing
So I'm just going to listen, and then I'm going to pause videos at key points that I think, and when I go back and edit this, I'm going to take those clips, I'm going to actually do a screen capture, and then I'm going to put them in the post-production. And the reason why you see a green screen back here is because I'm going to be doing a special background for me. You'll guys see it in the video, definitely. But, so I just wanted to clear that little thing up with you guys. Besides, give you some information on what I know of these types of diseases. And she's conflating them to something like the bubonic plague that happened hundreds of years ago, have killed millions upon millions of people, where they didn't have the effort, they didn't have the wherewithal and capacity to research about the bubonic plague. So many people died, definitely. Whereas technology and information is more mainstream, we are able to find out what these types of diseases are. We can do what we can to go and do the research we can to try to find cures for them, or find preventative measures to help ward them off. Even if you might contract them, it might not necessarily you might not exhibit all the specific characteristics of this disease. I'm not an expert. I just want to point some things out that seem like very huge inconsistencies. So I'm gonna go watch this video. Something to live with the plague. Okay. That's one inconsistency already. She calls it a plague. It's definitely not a plague. Diseases can infect someone, their ailments or deformity, abnormalities. I shouldn't have said deformity. That don't take that out of context, the internet. But she's advocating for us not to have, or to, if we have sex, not to wear condoms, which is a huge fucking mistake. She says she's received multiple death threats. I wouldn't go so far as saying that, because no, you're not. You're trying to get people to drink the social Kool-Aid that you're making.
Or the Zika
Just saying.
virus. I would like you to ask yourself why we, as a people, are bombarded.
Not only
with
celebrities
disease
get
after
HIV.
disease after disease after disease, and told that they are highly contagious, completely deadly, and are
because we get vaccinated
I'd like you to ask
and
yourself
we
why you can go
are
into a
responsible in
hospital
how we have sex.
and ask them to show you the AIDS patients, the West Nile patients.
West Nile is not that prominent in first world countries anymore. That's mainly like third world countries. Just saying. I could be wrong about that, but as far as I know, I've never seen it in a first world
SARS
country.
patients, the bird flu patients, the swine flu patients, the Ebola patients.
Yes,
and the
sometimes
Zika
they can be
patients.
deadly,
And tell me
but they're not
what the
classified plagues
conclusion is when you
because they
realize
have not
the
reached
combined
epidemic
number
levels
for all is
like the
zero.
bubonic plague.
There are no patients in hospitals
Just saying.
with these diseases. There isn't a
If I'm
swine
not
flu
mistaken,
ward.
the bubonic
There isn't an
plague
AIDS
killed the
ward.
most people out
There
of
isn't
all
an AIDS
types
ward.
of diseases.
There aren't AIDS nurses.
And that was a
There aren't AIDS
viral
doctors.
infection as well,
The only
like
people I haven't
HIV and AIDS. There's really nothing people could do if they contract AIDS. It's an autoimmune disease. If anything, they have to take antibiotics so they can function and not have to worry about catching other types of illnesses that could make them even worse off. The swine flu was actually pretty deadly, and that was originated in Mexico. Again, not a first world country. No one says an innocent running nose, diarrhea, or a yeast infection can kill anyone. Why the fuck would you have to make that assessment and say that?
Specialists in the area who go on to prove
No
that
one's
it's wrong.
making you go to a hospital just because you have a runny nose, lady.
So
I mean,
I'd like to go over
I take
why this
cough
happens.
medicine and shit. I can
Why-
get
why
over the
AIDS?
counter.
Why the bird flu? Why the swine flu? Why all those things? And the answer is that
No, swine flu was an actual thing that originated in Mexico. And it was a viral infection. We came... there are diseases that are sexually transmitted. Hepatitis. What else can I see? Gonorrhea. I know a few people that contracted gonorrhea. Again, I'm not going to give out names because I don't want people flooding their emails and shit with, oh, is it true you got gonorrhea? No, that's none of your, that's no one's right to go and harass someone asking them that kind of shit. Just saying.
More valuable that way. That way you might go to a hospital. This whole thing is to scare people. Many of them
She's trying to connect the AIDS hoax, quote unquote hoax, to the flat earth theory. If the earth was flat, and this is a hypothetical to you guys, haven't you noticed something with cats? How they always knock shit over, how they always tend to land on their feet when they land on the ground? Well, my hypothetical theory is, if the earth is flat, wouldn't it be more sensical that the four pillars that the earth is supposedly held on, that these flat earthers believe, would be the legs of a cat, as if the cat is holding the earth. Just throwing out some crazy ideas. But oh no, we're gonna be... I'm sorry, I'm getting too caught up. Breathe, Jacob. Breathe. Cancer is definitely a thing. Don't conflate cancer with AIDS. Don't do it, lady. Don't fucking do that. I've had people in my life died of cancer. I know people who have AIDS. So, don't even do that to me. Because I will rip you open a new ass. So... So she's saying that to prevent people from getting quote-unquote AIDS or any other type of sexually transmitted disease is wearing condoms, which everyone knows. But she's saying that none of those exist, so we shouldn't wear condoms. So you're saying we're going to get ourselves infected. And I'm going to pull up something about AIDS real quick, which is a disease which is a severe loss of the body's cellular immunity, greatly lowering the resistance to infection and malignancy. That is the basic term. So that's an autoimmune disease. In short, okay? So, HIV is... Okay, we're going to talk about HIV. Human immunodeficiency virus, which is pretty much the same thing. It is acquired that can lead to acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay, so AIDS is a syndrome. It's a syndrome. It's something that's worse than HIV. So if HIV can develop into AIDS because of immune disorder, it attacks the body's immune system, specifically the CD4 cells, T cells, what we call them, which help the immune system fight off infections, aka Ebola, swine flu, all types of infections that are out there. That's why if you get the flu, your body fights it with the T cells. And so if HIV, you contract HIV or AIDS, your body's T cells can't perform properly. So that means you have less resistance to fight those diseases, which could, in turn, you could die. So that's pretty much the breakdown of what HIV and AIDS are. So we're going to talk about some of these. I'm going to type in gonorrhea. Gonorrhea symptoms. Okay? So, symptoms is also called the clap. It's pain in the lower abdomen, pelvis, testicle, or vagina. Okay, so pain occurrences during sex or when you pee. That's mainly the times you feel the pain. Also common is fever, frequent urge to urinate, irregular menstruation, pus, and a sore throat. So those are some symptoms. Or some symptoms and what we would call but people can't have no symptoms but may experience the pain. So, and that's from the Mayo Clinic and others. Well known hospitals that do these types of researches. Okay, so that's gonorrhea. So if your immune system can't fight off gonorrhea, that pain is going to be even worse, pretty much, as you can infer from that. Okay, so syphilis. Is another STD. It's rarer than 200,000 per year. Okay, so that's because people wear condoms. they have safe sex. And the highest hit of syphilis was in 1949 in England. So keep that in mind. It was highest in 1949. Okay, so syphilis develops in stages and symptoms vary with each stage. Okay, so it spreads by blood products. So if a woman's menstruating and it brushes up against something, it can spread that way. Or mother to a baby. That's a huge thing. So going back to the unsafe sex, saying, oh, don't wear condoms. So if the male has syphilis, and it is treatable by a medical professional. So it spreads by sexual contact, so meaning sex. So if the guy gives a female syphilis and he ends up getting pregnant, there's a chance her baby can get it. Sorry, wrong term. So there's that. Granted, less than 200,000 a year. That is pretty damn good considering there are 7 billion people on this planet. 7.5 billion. Just saying. So you would figure, with the way technology is and the way we've studied these types of diseases, we know how to be responsible and to stop each other from doing stupid shit that can come from stuff like that. So it's treated with penicillin. That is at least the known cure. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a cure. It helps. It resolves within months. But you have to be diagnosed with it, so you have to get tested for it. And it's very rare. So we'll also talk about chlamydia, which is a bacterial infection which spreads by sexual contact. More than 200,000 U.S. cases per year. Resolves in days to weeks, so it doesn't last that long if you get it treated properly. Lab tests or imaging always required to test if you have chlamydia. How it spreads: mother to baby during pregnancy by having unprotected vaginal, anal sex, or oral sex. Okay, so chlamydia affects people of all ages, but most common in young women. That is because it's passed down from mothers. Just saying. As we know it, because if it's passed from birth or it's through sexual contact, it can be inferred that if it's mostly found in women, that the mother passes it off to the child. Antibiotic therapy for the affected patient and the patient's sexual partners is recommended. Screening for the common sexually transmitted infections also be performed. Okay, so genital herpes. So I'm just giving you the basic rundown of these STDs and telling you how it can be treated and how it spreads. Because that kind of, how she says, oh, it's all about a scare. That's why they teach sex ed in school. It's so you don't have these issues. I mean, isn't that what I mean, that's what I was taught in school. Oh, you could get all these types of STDs. And that was not someone from a medical trying to tell me, oh, I got to take this, and this to cure myself. It taught me how to have safe and responsible sex. Just saying. So, it spreads by sexual contact. Treatment can help, but this condition can't be cured. Chronic can last for years or be lifelong. Usually self-diagnosable. Caused by the herpes simplex virus. This disease can affect both men and women. Pain, itching, and small sores appear. They form ulcers and scabs. After initial infection, genital herpes lies dormant in the body. Symptoms can recur for years. So you're definitely going to be scabbing over in your genital area. So if your immune system is weakened, that just makes that even worse. And especially if some of these can't be cured, you have AIDS or HIV, hopefully you get those taken care of first. Otherwise, you're going to be living in pain the rest of your life, based on from the information that I'm reading. And the symptoms: pain areas in the penis or vagina can occur during urination. That's how the pain. So do you want to live with pissing and hurting like a motherfucker the rest of your life? So the treatments, antiviral drug, and the specialist infectious disease doctor, primary care provider, and an oncology. Okay, so, and the symptoms of chlamydia, because I didn't cover that. Pain in the eyes, lower abdomen, pelvis, testicle, or vagina can occur during sexual intercourse or during urination. Eye discharge or spotting. So you can end up bleeding a bit from chlamydia. Just saying. Thank goodness it's something that you can cure up, but do you really want to push your luck while having AIDS and bleeding uncontrollably? I mean, it wouldn't. Well, it kind of is, because spotting can happen any time. So it is uncontrollable. That's not a lie. So, there's that. So let's go back to and listen to what she says, knowing all this about these different diseases, okay? And I'm sorry that this is going to be a long video, but this is the first video on the channel. I wanted to take the time to actually debunk what she says and give context to these diseases that she doesn't even go into detail about. So how can she sit here and tell people, oh, this is just a scare tactic? I've had safe sex. Doesn't guarantee everything all the time. But if you're smart about it, 9 out of 10 times, you'll be okay. As long as you're smart about it. So we're going to go back and listen to what she says. Okay, so hold up. So she's saying that you can still get some of these diseases when you wear condoms. That is true, but she doesn't tell you how. Okay, so the condom only covers a certain part of the area. So this is a major flaw in her video. If it covers a certain part, and let's say it encompasses your entire groin, a condom can't cover your entire groin. It'll only cover your penis. So if that exposed skin touches your partner, it's skin-to-skin contact, not the condom. How she does not explain that, and she's a nurse of all things. And she says she stopped her license so people can't get her fired. Holy shit. I don't know. I don't know. It's just mind-boggling. So let's keep going. Well, first of all, Ebola and swine flu originated in third world countries, yet again. So if you have people coming from third world countries who have these diseases, can infect someone who has not been vaccinated in a first world country, they can contract that disease. Do you not understand that, woman? I'm sorry, Daphne. Do you not understand that, Daphne? So, because if you're talking to someone, airborne contact, or if you accidentally spit, contact from the spit, or just touching someone, skin to skin contact, depending on whatever disease, that's how diseases spread. So, you're talking about how it's all a scare. Yeah, it is a scare, and the reason being is, holy shit, these are diseases that are not in first world countries that can infect people and can cause death. But I don't know. I don't know. You know what, I'm just going to stop it from here because she just talks about crazy conspiracy theories of how pharmaceuticals are trying to sell stuff like prophylaxis to help prevent these diseases, and with good reason. They're not unfounded in their findings regarding some of these diseases that I talked about and how it can spread. So she doesn't talk about this in any of the video whatsoever. Not to mention, she's advocating something that can cause even more harm, especially if a woman has a child. So I don't understand how who she claims she's a nurse, can talk about something like this in such a broad sweeping statement of a matter about how it's all big money trying to make even more money off of hysteria. That is something I will not understand. I don't want to understand because it's false. I mean, there are definitely reasons why this stuff happens for a reason, and we want to prevent it from happening so future generations don't have the same issues we do. That's the way how humans work. We want to protect the young. So if you want to protect, you're going to take care of what you have to take care of by getting vaccinations, or if you have STIs, STDs, you're going to go to a doctor so you can hopefully get it taken care of so you can't spread it to your child when you do have a child. It's that simple. And she doesn't talk about any of this in this video whatsoever. So I have no idea where she's going with any of this. But with me talking about some of these and given the symptoms and how it can cause pain to you and how it can affect you based on you having an autoimmune disease like AIDS or HIV, how it can affect you even worse because your body can't fight it off. You can contract it a lot faster if your body can't fight it off. And it can sometimes even be worse if your body can't fight it at all. So, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thought it was very informational on my part because I just wanted to do some research I haven't done in a while, because seeing this video posted to me from a friend, it made me think about what I learned in high school and how she's going against everything that I learned in high school from my health teacher. who taught me the value of safe sex, that kind of thing, so you don't have these types of issues. And then she's talking about how it's all a hoax. I can't fathom how she would come to this conclusion. But other than that, this is going to be on my new channel. Still haven't thought of a name of it yet, but if you guys enjoy this video, hit that like button, subscribe, everything helps, and I will keep doing these types of videos if you truly enjoy it, and I will be giving my thoughts and critique, and I'll be pulling up some information and citations, so I can share it with you guys. That way, if you're like, oh, you're just bullshitting me, you piece of shit. No, I truly want to give clear, concise information and talk about how these people use misinformation or don't use any information at all to scare others